Jumping off of your dad's suggestion, I was just going to ask, what do you consider your food style?
Yeah, I mean, it's American, really. I mean, we do Italian, but I think we do it in a bit of a classic, like old school American Italian style. We do the big portions, you know, chicken parm, and we do a chicken Asiago dish. So in that vein, we do Italian, but we're not trying to be authentic Italian, you know. And then from there, we have hot dogs on the menu as well. So we're kind of all over the map and everything in between. Pizza, burgers, salads, some snacks. So family oriented, but really I think what we focus on and we're driven by is the food, is good ingredients, being quick. We don't want to be a place that is going to be, we're casual. We want people kind of in and out. We focused a lot on our takeout business early on. And once again, that wasn't by design. The space that we're in here, we needed so much cooking space, prep space, storage space, and space for the food truck that with the small building we were dealing with here, we basically said, all right, we're going to put in a kitchen and everything we need, whatever's left, we'll have a dining room. So that left us with a pretty small dining room, which, once again, like I said, blessing in disguise, made us drive our takeout business and delivery business up. And people got to know us as that. When we told them, look, we don't have any tables, we got 20 seats and they're filled. All right, we'll take something to go. So now that's all we can do. We don't
Right.
open up the dining room. And that's why we've been lucky in this whole situation, is that we hit the ground running when they did a shutdown.
Interesting. So you already had like an infrastructure for what this was going to force you into regardless.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of, it's fortunate. And, but I also feel like that's a good test of like how good the food is. Right. We do some work with, Dose Taqueria,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what their first location was, like maybe had like 10 seats in it. They couldn't possibly, it can only be takeout at this point. It's basically just they turned a dive bar into a taco shop. And then the food was so good that they were able to expand to a spot out on McKnight Road. So now they actually have like a legit restaurant and everything like that. So, it's like, it kind of speaks for itself, but in that little bit of a hustle mentality, it also proves that the food, has its merits.
Yeah. Well, no, I agree with you. When you say hustle mentality, when I think of business and entrepreneurship and starting businesses, that's one of the most fundamental things you need to have is that hustle. But I think also you want to, at least the way I look at it is, I don't like to take big risks. So like restaurants, number one, are risky business to be in. So having a small place to try and fill the seats is much less scary than having a huge dining room, a huge staff, and having to fill that every night. And that's basically how this whole business got built, was from basically as small of a food business as you can be, a hot dog cart, and just learning the whole way along that journey into food truck, into restaurant now, where, it helps the scariness out because you learn things slowly as you go,
That's interesting. So I was actually really excited to hear this like progression story, because you and I really have never had this conversation before, but and then I never really took into account that that even if somebody did what you did, which is, food cart, food truck, physical location, that physical location most likely would be larger. would have the dining room, would have booths or something like that. And that there might actually be uh, a more streamlined step that people are skipping, which is the small dining room takeout, portion of it, where you make the food stand on its merit before you give them like an actual experience.
Yeah, I think we still kind of run this place on a mentality that hasn't really left the food cart in some ways. Um, like I said, we try to keep things quick, and convenient and casual. And I honestly think our kitchen, it's an open kitchen. So, I mean, it has that feel where you're still seeing the customer, at least when they were allowed in. Um, and, I've worked in other kitchens, where there's coursing going on and whatnot. And like I said, we just kind of run it in a manner that is quick and casual, and that's just kind of been the whole mentality of how our cooking is.